First of all, Jared Leto, main character. The guy, I can't call him a great actor just because there's not a lot of movies that I've seen where I'm like, ooh, his acting's great. Which is just the frequency of movies, nothing against him. Dallas Buyers Club is the best movie I've seen him in. He's great in that. He's incredible. I think maybe he's a transgender lady or he's a cross-dresser. It's about AIDS and stuff like that. Him and Matthew McConaughey. Go and watch that movie. Blow you away. Seen him in The Joker. Yeah, that iteration of The Joker's a bit meh, but that was Suicide Squad. That movie's trash anyway. But in the Snyderverse, Justice League, he's great for the little clip he's in. So yeah, off the top of my head, this is one of the movies I'm watching him, and I'm like, okay, you're the main character of this movie. But when I watch the movie, he doesn't even feel like the main character. He feels like kind of the main character. The other guy, was it Matt Smith, Doctor Who? He could have been the main character, but he was obnoxious and annoying as well. Even though I like him as an actor, but it was just weird. It's just weird. Jared Leto, basically in this movie, he was just him. He was himself. You know how you see him walking around weird? It was that. You know when you see did you see him at the red carpet with his eyeliner and his eyeshadow and weird gloves with painted nails and he was himself. I don't know if he's got this like bootleg Johnny Depp thing going on, but he was alright in Morbius. His acting wasn't trash, but he wasn't great. He wasn't incredible. Tyrese was in this movie. Tyrese was in the movie. That's what I'll give you about him. He didn't do anything. That could have been any other guy. You should have given up on coming out to that role, and it wouldn't have made a difference. The other guy, was he from a TV host or something like that? The comedy relief in this, there was no relief. His comedy was trash. He said one thing in the whole movie, what was kind of funny, and I don't even think it was him. I think Tyrese said something to him, putting holy water on the table when they were interviewing Morbius, and I went, that was it. There was no other joke in the movie. Even the little stupid part they put in the trailer where he's like, oh, I'm Venom. Pointless. I don't even know what the connection was, because Venom, they didn't talk about Venom after that, so does he exist in that universe? Is he on the TV? I don't know what universe that is. It was all weird. The whole premise of the thing didn't make sense. Basically, you know the story of Morbius. If you don't Google it, I ain't going into it, but he's got a blood problem. So I am going into it. He's got a blood problem. He's dying. He grows up with another kid. They're orphans. They're both dying. He says, I'm going to sort this out. Come back. I'm going to fix you. I'm going to fix me. He mixes his blood with the vampire thing. He's Bruce Wayne all of a sudden, but some bootleg Bruce Wayne. And, yeah, like, Bats just doing stuff what Bats don't do. Like, he slices his hand in the trailer. You see all the Bats run towards it. Bats don't do that, by the way. They don't just smell blood from miles away and run to someone's hand. Yeah, it's vampire Bats. Don't even suck blood. They just lick it off like cows and shit. So that's one thing. His little Matt Smith, his character, okay, you know what I mean, he comes up, he sees Morbius when he gets arrested, pretends to be his lawyer and stuff, to just let him in the prison cell because he said, I'm his lawyer. And then when he gets in there, it's like, oh, I'm walking in my walkie stick, I'm going to leave the walkie stick in here. He realises that, oh, I told my friend not to touch the blood because it messed me up and turned me into a Batman, an actual Batman. And my friend didn't listen because he thought I was holding out on the serum to stop him being crippled and dying, which I kind of was. But I kind of wasn't. His friend took it and he's like, yo, I got all these abilities like a bat, so why would you be holding out on me? Funny enough, he can just use the abilities. He didn't have to train. Remember when Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire, had to run up walls and stuff and go, Shazam, fly. He didn't have to do none of that. He just left the prison and could fly and could jump high and smash people up and have the sonar hearing and they can hear down the road and stuff like that. The stupid, like, this movie should never have came out if it wasn't going to be R-rated. Every time the vampire slashed someone's neck or chopped someone, you heard this great noise, great. No blood. No blood. What? The blood's all blue in the movie, and when people are getting sliced, they can't see no blood. Terrible. Terrible. That should never have happened. His love interest in the movie, she's there. She's not a bad actor, but she's just there. There's one point in the movie, and when he does the thing where he's going to test the bat DNA thing on himself, and then he changes him into Morbius, and he snaps out of it, and then he jumps out of the thing, and then the guards come down in the boat, try shoot him and stuff, because they don't know what's going on. I mean, to be fair, if you come downstairs and you're a guard on a boat, what's illegal, and you see some geezer just jumping at walls and that, you might shoot at him. Yeah, I don't even know if they're in the wrong. You might shoot at him, so You know what I'm saying? And then she's like, oh, don't shoot. And then the guard, oh, I'm not kidding. The guard does this to her. And she falls and hits her head this soft. And then she's knocked out for the whole movie. I swear to God. I swear, he pushed her, she tapped her head on the floor, and she was in a coma for the whole movie. I don't know if this was to do with COVID and she wasn't around or something, but that's what happened. She tapped her head on the floor. I can't make it up. You go watch it for yourself. Count the minutes of how long she's out of the movie for. She's out for a while. You waiting for me to go on with the story, aren't you? There isn't anything else. The blood thing, so you know what's going to happen. He's going to have to fight his friend. Because Morbius doesn't want to be the bad vampire. And his friend's like, I got bullied as a kid. I'm going to do what I want. I can walk properly now. I can dance like a weirdo. So I'm going to do what I'm doing. It's kind of what happens. Then they have the big fight. The fight's trash. The fight's trash. This big mess CGI fight where I spoke to my missus about this. I asked her before I said anything. They have this, you've seen in the trailer, you know when he jumps around at full speed. All that business, that's the speed ramp, slow motion business. And it leaves the little ink trail behind them, that weird thing. Who does that? You know which one, man. The X-Men dude who does it and he puffs of smoke. The blue done. He does that, but he doesn't stop doing it for the whole movie. And the movie's dark. Because they do that with vampire movies. They make everything dark, like Batman. And you can't see anything because of that. Because the trail is covering his whole face, which ruins all the fight scenes. Covers up a bit of the CGI, but then they cover it with stupid CGI bats that I can tell are not bats, by the way. And then he doesn't have the blood packs with him, so he's dying. And then obviously, like Blade, which they just copied from Blade when he does it with the girl. Here, take my blood. So he takes it. So obviously, she's dead. But then she's not dead because the last scene in the movie, she opens her eyes. So she's a vampire now. You trying to sell Morbius too? Don't make another one. Leave it there. The more of the fight. Somehow, there's a part early in the movie when he steps into the little DNA chamber he's got the bats in. Animal cruelty, by the way. And to the rat. Animal cruelty. And then he walks in there and he's like, it's funny because it feels like I got a connection with the bats. Well, you wouldn't have a connection with them because you would have took one bat's DNA and all the bats don't have the same DNA. Like, all humans don't have the same DNA. So, whatever bat you took it off is obviously dead. I know it's dead because I saw it on the table. He took it out of the freezer. It was dead. So, he's got a connection with the bats. He can speak to bats. But he can't speak to them, but he can speak to them through his body and all this business. In the middle of the fight, this man does a Kamehameha with bats. Bats come up. Shh, throws at the Donnie. The Donnie loses the fight. Somehow because bats flew at him. So next time you go to a city centre or a town hall and you see all the little pigeons on the floor and stuff with bread, just throw bread at your homie and let all the pigeons throw at him and see if your friend dies. He won't die. But he did, because vampire bats, don't kill people, by the way. But, that's what happened in that movie. I already went over the lot of time I wanted to give, but I had to give the truth for this movie. Watch it for yourself. Hopefully you've got cinema pass like I have, otherwise you would have wasted your money. Let's talk post-credit scenes. Probably wondering, in my review, where was the Michael Keaton part? Adrian Toomes, why did I mention him? I'll tell you why I didn't mention him. They put him in the trailer, he's not in the movie. I swear. He's not in the movie. The whole Spider-Man universe thing is weird. There's no Spider-Man posters. That doesn't happen in the movie. So I don't know if it was COVID again, but if it is, sort it out. Also, in the movie, they kept switching scenes, but it was choppy. Like, at one point, my missus tapped me because she realised something. And he was speaking to his homie when he was trapped in the chamber. And then they were just out the chamber walking. There was no, you didn't see him walk out. They were just out. But anyway, 2 post-credit scenes. Don't wait all the way to the end, which technically is a mid-credit scene, because the post-credit scene is supposed to be after the credits, but no one ever gives us the after the credits. So, the first one, it is, I'm guessing it's after Doctor Strange opened up the thing with the Peter Parker thing and the purple thing in the sky, because you can see it. Now, you can tell that the Marvel Cinematic Universe didn't do the graphics for the crack in the sky. The Sony one did, and they did it trash. They look like I did it. in 5 minutes on my computer. Didn't even look the same. Purple, yeah. So, of all the people that come through the different universes, Adrian Toomes, the Vulture. Now, you remember he got arrested in Homecoming? Homecoming. He got arrested. And he got arrested because him and his homies, from the wreckage of the Avengers fight in New York, decided to make weapons from it and rob some stuff and do some stuff. Shocker and that, who disappeared. He ends up in a different prison cell. You see them glowing. Looks at his hands. Looks around all cheesy. Mark Keaton's a great actor, by the way, but this was terrible. And then he says, I can get used to this. Big man, how do you know you're in a different... Bro, how do you know you're not in the prison cell next to the prison cell you was at? Why would you be excited to be getting used to being in a different prison? Are you going to break out? With what? Because he's just in his normal clothes. So what is he excited for? What's the problem? Do you know something I don't? Do you know that in this universe are all the prison guards, like, are they stupid or something? I don't get it, but then it comes up on the news report. Mysterious sign, Adrian Toomes from blah blah blah. He's basically trying to say that he's in a prison cell that he's not supposed to be in, so he's going to be released. Fine. But he doesn't know that at the time, but he's just like, I can get used to this. So they release him. I'll tell you why I know they release him. Because on the second post-credit scene, mid-credit scene, we have another stupid thing, pointless. Bear in mind, Morbius ended the movie as a good dude, and it like he didn't want, you know what I'm saying? We see him driving down, I don't know where he is, Arizona, Colorado, some dusty place. Sand. 3 a.m. in the morning, for no reason. Just drives to a spot. There's no sign there, he just drives. Gets out the car, and then the Vulture comes, which is Adrian Toomes from the last scene. He comes in the Vulture costume. Now, you were not wondering, but I'm going to let you wonder, and you'll realise, why has he got the Vulture suit if the Vulture suit's in another universe? Does he know somebody in this universe? If he's in a different universe, and he's just been dragged through, does that mean that the other Vulture from this universe has gone into that one, or is there 2 Vultures? That's one thing to ask you that. Then he says something about Spider-Man, although Morbius hasn't alluded to Spider-Man the whole movie, so I don't see what the problem is. Why would he have a problem with Spider-Man? And then he says, we should form a team. I think he says we should form a team to take out Spider-Man. I might have made that up, but it would have been better if that's what he said. But either way, it don't make sense, because Morbius doesn't have a problem with Spider-Man, because he doesn't know who Spider-Man is. Now, I'm guessing the only Spider-Man it can be is Andrew Garfield. Because if they got Venom in this universe, remember Venom left a little spot of a symbiote in the other universe, Tom Holland one, and then went back to where he was from. So I'm guessing Venom is in this universe, blah, 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 blah. The team he's obviously alluding to is the Sinister Six. If this is what you had to go through just to talk about the Sinister Six, then it's terrible. This reminds me of that stupid post-credit scene in Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, when Donnie's just walking through the prison and there's just bare suits and that Rhino suit and the Octopus suit and Scorpion suit and, I don't know, Chris Jenner suit. I don't know. But all I know is it was pointless. Delete the whole movie. Let's just think that the movie didn't exist. The post-credit scene was pointless. It made no sense. The rules, what Doctor Strange gave us, were good enough. You know what I mean? You can always pick holes because we're geeks like that, but realistically we're good enough. But why? They just messed up all the rules. You know what I'm saying? Because when they're dragging through everyone, it was all the people who knew Spider-Man's Peter Parker and all this business, but I don't understand why. I don't know. Because you can't drag him through because they were coming through to I don't know. I don't care. Morbius is trash. I said it. I've been your boy Good Savage, and this been is a long ass review, but please watch it because you need to get the information. Save yourself. Sony, if you're watching. For any future red carpet events and stuff like that, I don't want to be cancelled from it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you advice that the movie's trash. You can't make every movie great. You know what I mean? I seen someone on Instagram say Morbius is 100 out of 10. That person can't be trusted.